الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Today, inshallah, we continue off our lesson. I was a little bit late today. Got some things to handle in the masjid. Inshallah, we're going to return back to maybe reviewing a little bit about al-muthanna from last week. I also want to say that from last week, classes, I noticed some people were commenting and I wasn't able to read the comments because I use an iPad, and the iPad here, it doesn't, when using an iPad for a camera, I have a stand for my camera, alhamdulillah. I can't really look at my camera to see who's commenting, so I keep with me, in front of me, a notebook, and sometimes on Facebook, because the notebooks are just like the tablets. I notice now I'm using iPad, some of the update software for iPad. There's some problems with Facebook app on it related to commenting and things like that, and for managing Facebook pages, there's some type of problem. And also the notebook, I'm using the desktop of the notebook, and it also has an app for Facebook. There is some issues with it when it comes to the commenting section, or a lot of things. There's problems with the apps now, with Facebook app on iPad, iOS, and even with the desktop. Maybe Facebook will fix that soon, inshallah. So in today's class, I like to ask any questions. Anybody have any question about last Friday's class? If you have a question, inbox me on this page, Madrasa Ula, inbox me so we could talk about it. I could read the question, because when the inbox come through, it does give me notification that I got a message like this, and then we will look and see about, because the comment section, I don't know why I'm not getting the comments. I see the comments after the video is finished. So if I have any inbox, and the inbox is also problems on the pages too, because I see I have some inbox, or that's notification. You see, maybe through the notification I can see who is commenting. So last week class we went over the muthanna related to al-adad, numbers. And I was mentioning about the adad. I was mentioning that the dual is the simplest one because the dual is related to the mufrad, the singular of the word. And you add alif, noon, and kasra to the end of the word. And in the case of majroor, it being majroor or mansoob, you add ya, noon, kasra. So that's very simple and easy to understand. Muthanna, and that is the beginning lessons related to the muthanna. There's some more complicated versions or complicated examples of the muthanna, and we're not going to go over that in this particular course at this particular time. You should learn things stages by stages, inshallah. Once the vocab build, once understanding grammar structure, once understanding about science of verbs and conjugating verbs, then later on, inshallah, during some time, we will go back over these particular things. So the muthanna, the singular of a word, we went over that last week. So today, inshallah, we'll go over the plural. And this is lesson number 7, and Arabic made easy. Lesson number 7, and Arabic made easy, inshallah. The plural, al-jam'u. So the plural in Arabic is very important that we understand related to the plural. What type of plurals are there? And there are different forms of plurals. We have the sound plural and the broken plural. It's very important that the student, when he reaches to this lesson, lesson number 6, or the 6th lesson, that he understand very well what is masculine and feminine words in the Arabic language. Because masculine and feminine words, in particular here, feminine words, or some words that are feminine, understanding its science, as we mentioned before, feminine words or feminine words are considered all letters of the Arabic alphabet, the body parts in pairs, the names of cities and towns, female names, and certain words that end in Taau Marbutah, except for the male names that end in Taau Marbutah, they are masculine, but names ending in Taau Marbutah is feminine, and there's certain words that do not have Taau Marbutah, and it's feminine, like suk, like this, so on and so forth. We are on lesson number 7. Lesson number 7. Okay, so there are certain things related to feminine gender or words that are feminine that is not in that lesson about feminine words. And we're going to learn today that are related to broken plurals. Some of them are considered, or majority of them are considered to be feminine. And it's very important in Arabic language that we understand what is feminine words. We didn't go over yet pronouns in Arabic and demonstratives, but we have demonstratives that are related to the feminine gender, like hadihi. Hadihi means this, or something that's feminine. Hadihi bint, hiya bint, and hiya. Hiya means she, and it means it. Hadihi ismu ishara. Hadihi related to feminine. Tilka related to feminine. Alright, so we have these words, and we need to understand them actually even before we really go into this lesson, but they give that lesson later on in this particular book. Later on down the line, they will give this lesson, inshallah. So let's go over a jam'u. The jam'u, we have, reading from the book, in Arabic plural are 2 kinds. So the author said there's 2 kinds. A jam'u salim, the sound plural. Sound plural. And jam'u muqassir. Jam'u muqassir means the broken plural. And there's other names for the broken plural in Arabic, but this is one of them, Jam'u Muqassir. So Jam'u Muqassir means the broken plural, as Muqassir comes from the verb qasara, which means to break. Right? Al-Muqassir, the thing that is broken. So Jam'u Muqassir. So you have sound plurals and you have broken plurals. Sound plurals, many of us are already familiar with sound plurals. For example, Muslim, Muslimuna, it's masculine, sound plural. Muslim, Muslimatun, or Muslima, the plural, Muslimatun. Ta, ending with Taau Marbutah, adding alif and ta. The broken plurals, al-Jam'u al-Muqassir, there's some things about it. We're going to learn about it in detail, inshallah, in this particular lesson. So continuing reading. The broken plural, al-Jam'u al-Salim, is constructed from the mufrad. So the sound plural, which is very common, you're going to hear and use it. The sound plural is knowing first the mufrad, the singular of the word. And now in this case, just like the muthanna, you added alif and noon. In the case of Jam'u Musallam, the sound plural, you're adding here waw, noon, and fatha on top of the noon. Muslim, Muslimuna, 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 adding waw and noon. The thing about Arabic language and the thing about nouns, the plurals, is that you need to look and use a dictionary to find a broken plural. Does plural always end in alif and ta and waw and noon? No. And this is inshallah what I'm about to talk about right now, sister. That the plural in Arabic, you need to use and understand the Arabic dictionary. This is, in this case, we're going to need the dictionary. So let me go grab a dictionary because I didn't bring one with me at this table. So when I look at a dictionary, and I have in front of me, or on my side of me, I have the Handswear dictionary. All right, Muslimuna. So we have those nouns that end in waw and noon and alif and ta. How do I know which the mufrad, how is the plural? In Arabic, there is a way to know these things. There is a way. There is a way to know these things. The way that we understand these things, really, there is a pattern in Arabic language. There is a wazn, a pattern with words. So when I look at a word right here, the mufrad, the way the word is structured, I can figure out what is the plural. But that takes a lot of skills. That takes having the massive vocabulary. And then you start figuring out and seeing the patterns where you know that certain words, certain mufrad, certain singular words, that the plural is going to be either a sound plural or a broken plural. And that there doesn't take mastery, but once you have a large vocabulary with the singular along with the plural, you start seeing the patterns. There's some books, like in Medina, Arabic course, book 3, in the back of the book, or one of the lessons in the back of the book, it does break down the patterns. It breaks down the patterns so you can tell them. But some people memorize the pattern and still don't know. The purpose of memorizing the patterns is that you can tell by the structure or the hearing. For example, in English, when we say the syllabus of a word, syllabus, how many and the word, not syllabus, I'm trying to think the proper word. When we tell like the pattern of a certain structure of a word, can't think of the word in English right now, that we could look at it in English, we could see certain type of pattern going with the word. In Arabic, a lot of words are structured like this. Somebody asked me a question. So Jam'ul Salim ends with waw and noon and alif and ta, and there are some exceptions. Now, That's one. Also, the waw and nun can change to ya in the case of that particular word being jar wa majrur. Huh? Ana ma'a al-muslimina. Syllables. Thank you, sister. I'm looking for the word. Thank you. Syllables. There you go. So in English, let me jump off topic. Syllables. That's the word I was looking for. So, for example, in English, we have syllables. Cat. You teach them the kid. The kid's clap has one syllable. Teacher. 2 syllables, right? So in Arabic, there's some type of pattern like this in words, in particular the mufrad, that we could tell what is the plural is going to be. You can memorize the patterns, but it's better to memorize the singular and the plural. If you have a book that gives you the singular and the plural, memorize the vocab like this. So when you memorize the singular, you also memorize alongside of it the plural. Because sometimes you forget, or some people do not do this. They memorize the singular, and later on down the line, they're going to go back now memorizing the plural, which take a lot of time, and it's time consuming, so memorizing at the same time. So how will I know if a word is going to be Jamr al-Salam or Jamr al-Muqassir? That's when I need to know how to use the dictionary. Arabs, in most cases, know the patterns by the structure of the singular verb, and Arabic is part of their language and is their default language. They use it all the time. They know the plurals. But in Arabic language, many times the plurals are 2 different words, or 3 different words could be a plural. For example, talib, which is called tulab. Tulab. Talib, tulab. Or talibun. Sometimes the sound plural talibun is really used. We usually use tulab. Tabib, doctor. Attiba'u. Or attiba'un. This is the plural. Sometimes they use tabibun. Once in a blue moon. Once in a while. So there are some words that have 2 plurals. Or even 3. Or even 4. Like the word sheikh. The plural of an Arabic is shuyukh, mashayikh. It has maybe 4 or 5 different plurals for the word, the plural of the word sheikh and Arabic language. So in Arabic language, how are you going to know this? You have to know how to use a dictionary. And some of the Arabic dictionaries don't tell you all the plurals. Sometimes they tell you 2 or 3. But this is knowing Arabic. In Arabic, and you go to the Arabic dictionary like Lisan al-Arab, and you'll find these things. So the best way to know the plural, memorize them in the beginning along with the singular. The best way. Right? Now, here's a dictionary. So I'm going to look up a random word. Like, for example, shahr. The word shahr in Arabic, it means month. Alright? The plural is ashhur or shuhur. 2 different plurals. Right? And according to the Arab country you're in, it depends on how they use that particular plural. Right? So I'm going to look up a particular word in Arabic in the dictionary. So here's a word. I hope you can see it. So small, this dictionary. I hope you can see it on the camera because the letters are very small. Maybe the light's in the way. But I'm knock down my stuff. I'm pointing at the right thing. Yeah. Here my finger is at. I wish I had my highlighter. Let me go get my highlighter. So it says the word Rahil. This is the singular. And right next to it, it has this plural. For example, this is the handswear. Some Arabic to Arabic dictionaries, like Al-Mawrid, it doesn't tell you the plural. The Mawrid dictionary doesn't tell you the plural. This dictionary, which is Arabic and English, tells you the plural. And Arabic to Arabic dictionaries, most times, are going to tell you the plurals. Most times, most of the cases. Hope I was pointing at the right thing. I don't think I was pointing at the right thing. Let me see. Here we go. No, I was pointing at the right thing. Yes, I was. So in Arabic dictionaries, let me get in front of the camera. Here's the word. Halq, it means to shave. So now, the plural. Huluq and ahlaq. I'm sorry, I don't know if I can show you. So in this word right here, it has two plurals. Huluq wa ahlaq. For shaving or to shave. Or shaving, not to shave, but shaving. Or shaving. Right? So this word has two plurals. Let me use a highlighter. Highlighted it now in green. So this word has two plurals, for example. So the way I know in Arabic, how I know in Arabic the plural of a word, well, there's going to be these, and the plurals of these two words are actually broken plurals. They're not sound plurals. So how I know to use a broken and sound plural, you need to use, you stick them, al-qamus. You need to use a dictionary. You must have one. If it's not a curriculum, like if it's a curriculum like teaching or learning Arabic as a second language, sometimes you're given these words. You're given the singular and the plural. So this type of curriculum, you should memorize this. Right? If I don't know the plural of a word, then I look it up in the dictionary. Or I find out what it means. Or memorize the pattern. I have memorized a lot of the patterns. But sometimes even me, I forget some plurals of words I don't use all the time. But when I hear it, I know what it means. I read it, I see it, I know what it means. Then I'm using my brain again, and then the word go back to my mind of using this particular word. But because when you're reading Arabic, you never know. You might be reading something, and in the context is using the plural of the word. So it's good to know, understand what's plurals and the structures. It's very important, especially in Arabic language, along with learning grammar, having a massive vocabulary. It's very important, especially if you want to study Islamic sciences. You must have a massive vocabulary. It's very important. So, continuing. So, al-jam'u al-salam is constructed from the mafrad, adding waw and noon in the case of it being marfu'a, raf, marfu'a, normative case. In the case of it being majroor or mansoob, then you're going to add ya and noon and fatha. Ma'al muslimina. Ma'al muslimina. Huh? I made it in this case, I made it majroor. أحب أنا أحب أنا أحب مسلمين. I love the Muslims. Right? In this case, it is mansoob. Continue reading. So, al-jam'u al-salim is constructed from the mafrad by cutting of the case sign. I'll make it easy English. Adding waw and noon at the end of the word for the case of it being normative, marfu'a, and adding ya and noon when the case was oblique case, meaning being majroor or mansoob. الجمع السالم from the word alim, make it alimuna in the normative case. In the case of being majroor or mansoob, it's going to hit the oblique case. Alimina. In the case of the feminine with the word as feminine, mu'annith, and it has Taau Marbutah, ending with Taau Marbutah, and adding to the Taau Marbutah, changing it, deleting the Taau Marbutah, and making it alif wa ta. So I'm deleting the Taau Marbutah. In this case, I'm adding alif and the letter ta, ta maftuha, the open ta, it's called. So you see I'm adding the suffix alif and ta. So al-jam'ul salim from alimatun, it is alimatun in a normative case. In the case of being oblique, majroor or mansoob, you add to be ta at the bottom. Alimatin. The sound feminine plural does not accept fatha. Allah say in Quran, خلق الله السماوات والأرض. خلق الله samawati wa arda. Samawati here is in the case, it is actually mansoob. Is the subject, is the object of the sentence. And this is why the word ard, khalaqa samawati wa arda. The word ard is ending with fatha. It is mansoob because it's the object of the sentence. So the word samawati, the sound, feminine, plural, does not accept fatha. So in the case that is mansoob, it ends with qasra. If it's majroor, for sure, it ends in qasra. And if it's mansoob, it ends with qasra also. It does not accept fatha on the sound, feminine, plural. Is this understood? This is very important. This is understood. This is very important. We see examples in the Quran. It's read ayat. خَلَقَ اللَّهُ السَّمَوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ. The word ard ended in fatha. The word samawati should also end in fatha, but this particular word, the feminine sound plural, does not accept fatha on the end of it. It only accepts kasra. So in the case of mansoob, it's going to be ending in kasra. And that's particular for this particular feminine sound feminine sound plural. Sister Lily, if you couldn't read it from the dictionary, I'm gonna write it out later on, inshallah. Is this understood, this rule? Very important. Is this understood? Aliyah. No? I'm going to write it out. So I written. Feminine sound plural ends with alif and ta. So the example, muslimatun, which is feminine word, the Taau Marbutah is deleted and you add alif and ta at the end. Muslimatun. Muslimatun. Alright? First basic rule. Basic rule. Is that understood? Aliyah. Lily. Is this understood? Alright. So just like the masculine sound plural, when it's in the case of majrur or mansub, you add ya, right? Muslimun becomes muslimina, right? So now with the feminine sound plural, you don't add, for in this case, no ya. All you do is add at the ending of it, kasra. Alright? You add at the end kasra. Is that understood, Sister Lily and Sister Aliyah? Is that understood? I have a problem seeing when I write the vowels on my keyboard because it's so small and I have very bad eyes. I hope this is writing fast. I can't see it for nothing on this small screen. I'm trying to blow it up so I can take a better look at it. It's still small for Arabic. So I need a magnifying glass. Yeah. It's fine. Alright? So it says, I written, the feminine sound plural never accept the ending vowel fata or fatatan. Is that understood? Aliyah, Lily. It's very important. It is kasra when it's mansub, yes. Alright? So in the case of majrur and mansub, you're right, kasra. Let me write that down. in kasra or kasratan. Is that understood? Is that understood? Good. Next, continue reading. Giving al-alamu. Al-alamu is meaning Arabic. Al-alam means proper noun. Also mean the word flag. Al-alam. It means the word flag in Arabic, but here in this case, it means a proper noun. A proper noun. Keep that vocab, that terminology in your vocab. Al-alam, the proper noun, and ism indicated a person having some qualities, some quality has for its plural, a jamal salam. For example, we have, I was going to explain a little bit different, but we have alimuna, right, from the word alim, which means a scholar, place, or mean like a world or a scholar. Nashituna, from the word nashitun, means diligent. Dhakiyun, from the word dhakiyuna. So general, a jamu, the plural of an ism in the Taau Marbutah is a jamu as-salim. It's the sound plural. We have jalisatun, from the word jalisatun. Baqaratun, from the word baqaratun. Hajaratun, from the word hajaratun, and etc. These rules are not absolute. And it's the key. These rules could change. Not absolute meaning that they can't change. Give me a second. Next page. When a jamu or salam, it is mudaf, then the noon is dropped. And we learned that from before. So just like the muthanna, in the case of muthanna, just like in the case of muthanna, that when it's mudaf, al-mudaf, the possessor, al-mudaf, the noon is deleted in the case of the masculines. For example, muallimuna, which means the teacher. Muallim is the teacher. It's plural. Muallimuna. So when they say the teachers of the school, muallimu al-madrasa, the teacher of the school. So the noon is deleted. Just like we learn about the noon for the muthanna, the dual. Same rule apply here. He writes at the end, If you write muallimina al-madrasa, this is incorrect. Now I give you some patterns and examples in the chart. In this chart, you should go over Jamul Salam, Mudhakkar and Mu'annif, masculine and feminine. Fa'ilun is the example of the singular. Fa'ilani. Fa'ilani is a case of the Muthanna being a normal case, and an oblique case, which means Majrur Mansub case. Alimuna being a normal case. These are examples, written examples. And Alilina. Alilina. Alimuna. What's this word? Alimun. Aliyin. Aliyina. It's the case of the Mudhakkar, the masculine, with the Muthanna and the plural. In the case of Mu'annif, the feminine, Fa'ilatun. Fa'ilatani. Fa'ilatina. Fa'ilatini. Fa'ilatun. Fa'ilatin. Alright? So one quick thing. This word written like this, fa'ala. It's a verb, this particular pattern. I want to teach you something about words today. Here we go. Fa'ala. I can't really see too well. Fa'ala. I still can't see. I wrote it wrong. You see? Fa'ala. Fa'ala is going to be a pattern you're going to use, and you're going to see it a lot when they want to give you examples on how a word, whether it's a verb, a noun, when they want to give you examples on how something is structured, how a grammar rule is structured. For example, when you add a letter, take away a letter, like the examples we see in front of us. Many cases, they're going to use these three letters. Fa, Ain, Lam. We need to really focus right now, because this is very important. Because later on, when we get deeper into Arabic and deeper into the book, you're going to find they're going to give you many patterns of words in Arabic. They're going to give you many patterns of words in Arabic. Related to verbs, related to nouns. For example, if we look at a lesson related to the different patterns, related to plurals, and its, singulars and its plural, you're going to see that they're going to give you to use these three letters, fa'ana, which means fa'ala means he did. It means he did the past tense. But it's letters that are used when they want to give examples on patterns, on how a word looks, or how a word is structured. You're going to use this example, these three letters, fa, ain, lam. Get used to and accustomed to seeing this. This in Arabic language, when they want to give patterns, examples of things, they're always going to use these three letters, or they're going to add a letter to it, 2 or 3 letters to it. So they use these 3 letters as examples on talking about words, patterns, and word structure. They always use these 3 letters, so to not be foreign to this. Make sure this is not foreign to you. Make this go in your memory. Now we're going to talk about Jamul Muqassir. Jamul Muqassir is a very important lesson, because Jamul Muqassir is not like Jamul Salam. The rules are different. The structures of the words are totally different, which means you're not adding a letter waw and noon or alif and ta. It's not easy. Jamul Salam, the sound plural, is very easy. If the word is masculine, you add waw and noon. If it's majrur or mansub, you add ya. If it's feminine sound plural, you add alif and ta. If it's majrur or mansub, it ends in kasra. Very simple rule. Very simple. But the broken plural is the plural itself is a totally different structure. Sometimes it's a different word altogether. So the broken plural, yes, you need to know the singular and either or letters going to be added. Letters, not one, sometimes 2 or 3 letters are going to be added, or a letter is going to be taken away from the singular word. So the singular for a plural that is broken, jamul muqassir, you're going to add letters or take away letters to the original singular of the word or the noun or the adjective. You're going to add letters or a letter or take away a letter from it, from the singular. You can take away a letter or letters from it. So broken plurals, there are more than 40 forms. Listen very well. Let me highlight that so I can remind you guys again. He said what? The author said there are more than 40 forms, 40 different types, meaning patterns on the letters, how they're structured for al-jaml muqassir, for the broken plural. There's no rule as to which form of the mufrad will have its plural and which form the jaml muqassir will be. So plurals of this category must be learned and memorizing and consulting the dictionary. He's saying the same thing what I told you from before. In the vocabulary, jaml muqassir is mentioned. Now he's giving you some patterns. Reading from right to left related to the patterns. Af'ila, af'ilatun, af'ulun, fu'ulun, fi'alun, fu'ulun, af'alun. Remember I told you before that plurals have patterns and the broken plurals have patterns. And the only way you're going to know the plural of a word, if it's broken and what's the pattern and the structure, either you have to use the dictionary, or when you memorize a lot of words and it's plural, you start seeing and figuring out the patterns because certain words are structured a certain way, so the plural is going to be a certain way, right? Miskin, sakin, masakin, right? Miskinu. No, the one. Fakirun, fukara'u, qalbun, kilab, beit, buyut, wa abyat. Sakinu. Even the dictionary for sakin. Sakakin or sakakinun or sakuna. It says even it's feminine. Sakina, tranquility. Saka'in. So plurals, we look up in the dictionary to be sick. Sakimun, Siqama, or Sukama or Sukama'u. Or sukama. So some words have 2 or 3 different broken plurals. Some words have a sound in the broken plural. Some words have 2, 3, 4, or 5 broken plurals. Let's look up something real quick in the dictionary. In the Arabic to Arabic dictionary. I want to show you an example. I want to cut and paste it in Arabic. Here we go. Look from this in Arab. Here we go. Here's an example. So I'm going to give you an example of a word. The word sheikh. The common known plural is for it is shuyukh. Shuyukh. Right? Shuyukh. So for example, the word sheikh, the plural, they give you the example shuyukh. That's one plural. And it's a broken plural. Another form of it, another pattern for the broken plural, ashyakhun. It's plural and it's another broken plural. It says biwazin, inaba, wazin, aniba, shekhanun. This is for everyone. I'm sorry. Shekhanun. Another plural. Shekhanun. Shekhanun. Looks just like a dual, but it's not a dual. Shekhanun. How I know it's not a dual? It has ending alif and noon. Because it's not ending in fatha. The noon is not ending in fatha. So it's a dual. It's a good example. Aliyah. Lily. How I know this is not a dual? Sheikhanun. Lily. Aliyah. How I know this is not a dual? Shikhanun. Shikhan. How I know this is not a dual? Mulhaqun muthanna. It's similar to a muthanna. It's not in the fatha. Yes, but I taught you there's something to do. What do you do? Some scholars say take away the alif and the noon if you don't get the original word. But if I take away the alif and noon in this case, I do get the original word. Arabic grammar is like an ocean. Alright? But it doesn't end in fatha. It takes tanween. So this is the sign, this particular word, it's not a dual. It's a broken plural. Another plural. Mashaykhatun or mashaykha. Mashaykhatun, mashaykha. This is another plural for the word shaykh. Another plural. Mashayikh. Mashayikh. Right? This is the common one we hear a lot too. Shuyuk and mashayikh. Another one. Mashyuqa'u. You notice some plurals don't end in tanween. There's some broken plurals don't end in tanween. We learn about it later on. There's a lot of broken plurals and end in tanween. We learn about that later on because this lesson is not talking about that in this particular book. Right? Shaykhuka. Huh? Shaykhuka. That's another plural, another broken plural. Shaykha. Another broken plural. And then in alif. Shaykha. And the other words are not actually broken plurals. So I count how many broken plurals here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9 different type of broken plurals for the word sheikh. Well, you wouldn't know that unless you use the dictionary. Continue reading from the book, Arabic Made Easy. So now I give you some vocab. Ready to Jamr Muqassir. We have ashabun, which is the broken plural of the word sahibun, which means companion. Another broken plural, quburun, which means graves. And the plural is qabr. Another broken plural is rijalun. And the singular is rajulun. Another broken plural is rusulun or rusul, the messengers. And the singular is rasulun. So it says arjalun is from rajul. I don't know why. Arjalun is from the word rajul. Original, ajalun, arjalun. Arjulun, which means leg. Original, which means foot. Which means, leg. Ragifun means loaf of bread. Or ragifatun. Arjulun, this is the thing. Rijal have maybe 2 plurals, more than 1 plural, I'm thinking. So continuing, it says, there are some isms which have their plural in both forms, meaning sound plural and broken plural. For the plural nushitun, you have nashituna, and you have nushata'u. From the word kabihun, which means ugly, you have kabihuna and kubaha'u. These are actually adjectives. All these words mentioned here are actually adjectives. Adjectives could go either way in some cases. And it could be feminine. So adjective could go both ways. Right? Adjective can go both ways, depending on the noun you are describing. If the noun is not a broken plural, if the noun is a sound plural, then adjective must be a sound plural. So now this is where we're going to get tricky. Very important right here. Now this is where everything gets tricky. This is where everybody gets lost. I'm going to highlight this when I go back to review with you guys. I know that I'll review this stuff with you guys. And even the rule here could change. So, it says from jariya to the plural and jariyatun and jawari. All this is a what? Broken plural. I'm sorry. I'm reading the wrong thing. Al-Jamr Muqassir, the last paragraph, is always mu'annith. That's the key. Is always mu'annith. All broken plurals are mu'annith. So the adjective and sifat of Jamr Muqassir must be singular. Listen, singular, feminine form. I'm going to read it again. The adjective, all broken plurals is always mu'annath, feminine. As sifat of Jamr Muqassir must be the singular, feminine form. Do you understand that? Somebody retype that to me. Aliyah, Lily. What I just said. If you ask what it means, 40 type of broken plurals, you just read it. Different forms, patterns could be written. Different ways the broken plurals could be written. That's what that means, Sister Aliyah, if you didn't hear me from before. An example of that, the different forms that could be, ways or patterns of writing it, don't stress that. You just got to look up the word in the dictionary. Don't even stress that. If you don't understand that, what I mean here, but then you know that the ways for a plural to be, for a word or for words, it's plural for words. I didn't say word, but words that are broken plural, the pattern for are not all the same. One broken plural pattern might be written in one way. One other word, which is plural, is a broken pattern, might be written a different way. Let me say that again. One word that the plural is a broken pattern, that is a broken plural, the pattern could be written a certain way. Like, for example, fukara'u, right? Fukara'u, the poor. Fukara'u. Now I'm going to use another word, which has a broken plural, shahr, shuhurun. So how it was written, the pattern of it, the structure of the plural, it's different. But they both are broken plurals. Sister Aliyah. An example I've written for you with the word sheikh, showing you the different ways that the broken plural was written for the word sheikh, is a good example. Each way is different. For example, in that particular case. But what it means here that the broken plural, the structure of it, it is not fixed. That's what it means. The broken plural structure is not fixed like the sound broken plural. Its structure is fixed to two types. If it's masculine, it's ending in waw and noon. Muslim, muslimuna. And then if it's a case of majroor mansub, muslimina. If it's a sound feminine broken plural, muslimatun becomes muslimatun. So the sound plural, the structure is fixed to these two different examples, depending being masculine or feminine. But to the broken plural, the structure on how you write the word is not fixed. It could be like this, fuqara'u, one way of writing it, for fuqara. For the word shahr, the pattern for it, for the plural, it's not like fuqara'u, and it's not ending in tanween. Shuhurun, another broken plural. Bait, it's a plural. Bait is a singular for buyut. Buyut is not like the way its pattern is written like fuqara. Another broken plural. Tulabun. The structure of its broken plural, the way the word is written, is not like the broken plural for the word book. Kutub. Is this understood, Sister Aliyah? Is that understood? All broken plurals is always dual? No one said that. No, Lily. All broken plurals are not duals. Duals has nothing to do with plural. Duals are not plurals. Duals are not plural, Lily. So no. Duals are not plural. Dual is dual. Dual is two. Plural in Arabic is three or more. So dual is not plural. Broken plurals is not dual. Because in Arabic language, dual is two. It's not a plural in Arabic. Broken plurals are feminine. Yes, Aliyah. and the pattern from writing in the broken plural, they are structured all different. How you know them? Look up in the dictionary, have a book that has singular and plurals, and just memorize them. And that's how you're going to know. There's no shortcut to it except for that. Only shortcut, if you have a book that talks about singular and plural words, memorize these patterns. Memorize the words like this. This book have it. Kaslanu, kusalun. Or qasl. The plurals for adjective is another structure. And I don't know why they don't talk about it. I'll bring another lesson maybe next weekend, inshallah, next Friday. The plurals for adjectives have a same system, but there's some different rules for it. Alright? You can memorize them. They're very easy and not too hard. Alright? But they're very close. Like, jadidun is an adjective. Its plural is jududun. For example, that's a broken plural. Well, I gotta give a better lesson for the adjectives, so don't stress it too much. But they're very similar, all right? Because this lesson right here doesn't talk well about the adjectives and its plural. And I don't see any lessons coming up, but I have some other material that we can use for that for another time, inshallah. But here, this is really the bulk structure and understanding about the plurals. So Jamu Muqassir is always feminine. So there's a rule. But we haven't learned yet the ma'ir wa ismu ishara for the feminine yet. So some of you are going to be lost what I'm about to say right now. But you can save it for later on once you learn about the ismu ishara and the demonstrative, which are coming up in the next lesson in this particular book. Lesson number 9. And lesson number 10. You will see exactly what I'm talking about. So, for example, there's some words like hadihi, which is feminine, and here. If I want to talk about men, for example, or women, Muslimuna, Muslimatun, I use ha'ula'i. Right? Ha'ula'i. Muslimuna. Ha'ula'i Muslimatun, for example. They're sound plurals. But there's some broken plurals. There are masculines. Tulabun. Alright? Because the word tulabun talk about men. Men students. Tulab. We'll talk about female students. Talibatun. So there's some rules of the plurals that they don't explain all of them. But, this rule right here, for example, you're going to look in Arabic when you read, you're going to say tulab. Tulabu students of knowledge. Talk about in general men. And the meaning could be women, because in general when you address men in Arabic, or you address an audience of people, you address man, the men. You don't use the form from addressing women, except for when you're talking to all women who are present. And no men are there. There's no men, no babies, no boys, no boy infants, all women. But here, I said tulab fi jamia. Talk about male students. I was talking about female students. Talibat fi jamia. The female students who are studying. So there's some little bit more other rules related to broken plurals, and when to use a masculine sound plural, when to use a feminine sound plural. When the word for students, the plural is tulab. It is a broken plural. But when related to the woman, they're using the feminine sound plural. Some rules like that here, but everybody's not ready for that in this particular class. But there's the rules could be changed related to this. All right. So the broken plural, for example, the word kitab, the word for book, its plural is kutub. Kutub is a broken plural because it's not anything waw and noon or alif and ta. It is a broken plural, meaning that it's not masculine, it's not feminine. Muslimuna, right? Muslimatun, broken plural. So the word kutub, it's plural. So in this cases, I will use singular, feminine pronouns, demonstratives, and singular, feminine adjective for this word. So we're going to say هذه كتب. هذه كتب جديدة. جديدة. I use the adjective for it. It is plural, but I use the feminine singular. Singular, I'm sorry. The adjective I use, the singular feminine form. Here, which means she and it. Here, because the plural is whom or hunna. I said هذه or here, which means she or it. Here, كتب جديدة. It is new books, for example. So when it says here that is the Jam'ul Muqassar is always mu'annath, and the adjective for Jam'ul Mu'annath must be singular feminine. That's what it means in this case. It says, for example, give you example. الرجال ذكيون. The men are intelligent. Then it writes الرجال ذكية. The word rijal is talking about men. It's talking about men. But it used a feminine singular adjective. That's not 100% correct. Because in an Arab country, if I talk it like this, it could be used this way, but some rules differ from Arab country to country. I just want to look for example. Because the word dakiya, they say here is correct, but in Arab, some Arab countries not going to use that. So I'm going to say rijalun dakiyuna. They have another example. jariyatun, jariyatu, al-jariyatu, dhakiyatun, which is correct. And al-jawari dhakiyatun, which is also correct. But that rijalun dhakiyuna, sometimes you might see that example. So it says here, is correct. Oh, it does say it's correct. I thought it would say it was incorrect, but it is correct. Okay. And sometimes you use rijalun dhakiyatun. It's correct. Grammatically, it's correct. But in most Arab countries, the Arab men they're not going to see that. Even you type that in Arabic right now on Google or internet search, you're going to see nothing pop up. Because Arabs don't use that type of broken plural like this all the time because it sounds feminine and you don't want to make men feminine, even though the structure of it is correct. The structure of it is correct. All right, somebody's asking me a question. I can't think of anything else that you're ready for but broken plurals. I think this lesson, the jumble plurals, we're going to sum it up, end it up right now, make it real quick, summing it up. You have two type of plurals. Jumble salim or jumble muqassir. All right? Simple. You have two types of plurals. Jamu as-salim, sound plural, and jamu muqassir. Jamu as-salim is related to masculine and feminine. Muslimuna, adding waw and nun and fatah at the end of the word. And feminine, muslimatun become muslimatun. Deleting the Taau Marbutah and putting alif and ta al-maftuha. اكتب التاء مفتوحة. You're writing down the open ta. مسلمات, alif and ta. The broken plural doesn't have waw and nun, and it's not adding alif and ta. The broken plural, various. The forms of it, various. But we know it's not structured like the sound plural. It's not structured. How do you know the plural of any word? You must look it up in the dictionary. Okay? Must look it up in the dictionary. The ending example, rijalun dhakiyuna, this is correct. And rijalun dhakiyatun, that is correct. But Arabs vaguely don't use it like this because it's talking about men. But it is grammatically structured correctly. Any questions? This is time to ask any questions because last class, from last Friday, I don't know if people was asking me a question. I didn't notice until the end when I finished the video. And it already was posted. And then I said, oh, people ask me questions. Sister Aliyah, you asked me a question about an online school. I just replied to you today. You emailed me about some online Quran school for learning. You send me a school, I believe it's in Egypt. No problem. La bus is no problem. I don't see no problem with that school. I just seen it a few times. Learning how to Qira'at. I think this for Qira'at, reading Quran like this. Just make sure you have a female teacher. You're going to have somebody privately. Inshallah, let it be a female teacher. Any questions? Yes, ask any questions related to the topic. Or any old lessons or last week lesson about the duel. Lesson easy. Very easy. Very easy. I can even sum it up real quick. Again, very easy. General, it's two type of plurals. Sound plural, broken plural. Sound plural, masculine ends, waw and noon, and when it's jar or majrur, ya and noon. Alright? So say that again. The sound plural, masculines. Sound masculine plural. Muslim, muslimuna, ending waw and noon and ending with fatha. When it's the case of majrur or mansub, oblique, accusative, or genitive, and then the letter ya and noon and fatha. Simple. When it's sound feminine plural, you add at the end alif and ta. Alif and ta. And you take away the Taau Marbutah. Take it that away. Muslimatun now it becomes muslimatun. In the case of it being majrur or mansub, accusative case, or a genitive case, it ends in kasra. The feminine sound plural does not end in fatha or fatatan. If I say fatha, it's a given, it means fatatan also. So I'm not going to keep on saying that a lot. It does not end in fatha. Easy. That's it. That's it for the sound plural, for its structure. That's it. Nothing else to it. How you know it? If it's a sound or broken plural, you must use the dictionary. Broken plurals is a whole, it's something different in structure from sound plural. It's not sound no more. It has a different structure. So the singular of the sound plural, either or, the letter is going to be added or taken away. Extra letters going to be added, or a letter or two are going to be added or taken away. Like, for example, the word kitabun. 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 Kaf, ta, alif, ba. Kitabun. The plural is kutub. But they deleted. They deleted the alif. Kutub. Alright? Fakirun. Fakirun. Poor. It's an adjective. Fakirun. The plural, fuqara'u. Fuqara'u. They added the alif. Fuqara'u. Fakirun. They took away the ya and added the alif. Fuqara'u. Shahr. Shahr Ramadan. The word month. It's plural. Shuhur. Shuhur. Alright? Shahr, they added it here. Oh, wow. Another plural, ashhur. Shuhurun, ashhurun. Two types of broken plurals. So the broken plural, its structure is not fixed on one pattern like in the sound plural. It has different types of pattern that it could be. How you know them? You must look it up in the dictionary. And it could be 2 or 3 different plurals. That's it. Khalas. Nothing else to think about it. There's nothing else. That's the beginning stage of understanding broken sound and broken plurals. That is the beginning stage. Step 1. Step 2 or step 3, don't worry about that right now. Yes, adjective have broken plurals. Fakirun is a plural. Fuqara'u. Kabirun, big. Kibarun. And also kibaruna. But kibarun is used. Right? If the noun, for example, if the noun is feminine, kabir, muslimatun, kabiratun. Alright? Because the adjective must agree with the noun. And I said for the adjectives, it has the same ruling, but there's some type of special structure or some vocabulary for broken plurals. The broken plural have maybe 2 structures for them, or 3 structures. 2 to 3 different structures. Gabiyun means stupid. Alright? Goba'u. Fakirun, fukarun. Sagirun, sigarun. Kabirun, kibarun. Jadidun, jududun. Colors, because they are adjective also. The structure change. That's another lesson for another time. Because you're going to get lost if I tell you about the colors. Colors are either you're going to add a Taau Marbutah to it, or you're going to add something to the word. That's going to make people, going to throw people off. That have its own special structure. So adjective have itself in general have its own structure for the plurals, but they're actually, I think they're a little bit more simpler. The plurals for the adjective, they are more simple to understand. This is why I said I'm going to prepare another special lesson just for that, because I don't see a good lesson for that in this book yet. Qadimu Qudama'u, which is an adjective. This is I'm actually reading from the book. Lesson number 7, and they're giving some vocab. It says Qadimu Qudama. Right? Qudama. Right? Qadimu Qudama. Qudama. You hear this word Qudama. Al-ulima al-Qudama. When you hear this word ulima al-Qudama, ulima al-Qudama, it's not like kibar al-ulima. When I say kibar al-ulima, mean the senior scholars. Ulima al-Qudama. Oh, the scholars from the past. Great scholars from the past. Ancient times or past times. So plurals have their own structures. Kaslanu, kusala. That's one. Kaslanu, kasala, or kasl. Kasl, also another word. Kasl. Right? Kasl also is a plural. It says kusala, that's one. But I think kasl is another common plural that is used for kaslan. Let me just look it up real quick. Once you study Arabic a lot and you read a lot of books in Arabic, then you're going to see how they use. Once you start reading Arabic a lot and reading books and hearing mistakes, you're going to see the different plurals they use. But kaslan is a special word. Kaslanu. It is in step tanween. So that's a special word itself. That now kaslanu is a special actually word. I don't want to get into it because it has a particular structure for it. Jududun, jadidun, jududun. Alright? The word Medina has its plural, is a strange structure. Madinatun, mudunun. It has the same structure of the broken plural for the word jadid. Jududun. Or jadidatun. Or jadida. For the case of a broken plural. The noun that's being the noun adjective, if it's masculine, if it's feminine. If the broken plural, the broken plural which is feminine. Buyutun or kutubun jadidatun. Right? The broken plural so the word even kaslan, it has between it the plural for kaslan, which is very important. You know how to use a dictionary in Arabic. Because here I'm opposed to you the plurals for kaslan, for example. And this is one of your vocabulary words in the lesson. I'm going to read it. So the plural for it, kasala, which is the one they gave into you, and kaslanuna. So it has both. It has the sound, it has the broken plural and the sound plural. And it has kusala, which means lazy. It's a broken plural. Kaslanuna, which is a sound plural. Kasla again. Alright? So now let's look at kaslanuna is another one. Here, the mu'annaf, feminine, kasla. Kaslanatun. And the jam mu'annaf, كسالى وكسالى كسالانات. Alright? A lot of Arabs don't even know this. A lot of Arabs, this right here, common Arab, don't even know that. The lesson I just gave you right now, the Arab does not know this. Okay, so you have a question, Sister Aliyah, and seeing you post something. عينان البنت جميلتان. عينا البنت جميلتان. What's the question, Aliyah, with that? You understand why it's written like this? The difference, it's right there in the book, in the translation, the difference between them. It's very important. Before, don't even look at the translation, because the translation is going to make you weak in your comprehension of Arabic. Right? The difference between this, عينان البنت جميلة, and عينان بنت جميلتان. The example you wrote here, when you put the word "and" in the middle, I'm sorry, now I can see. Okay. Aina bintu, I'm sorry, it's not even Aina. Aina binti jamilatun. Aina jamilatan. Excellent question. So the first word, Aina al-binti al-jamilati. Aina al-binti al-jamilati. I said the ending vowels for a very important reason. First thing I look at, I see the word. I'm not looking at the word. Right? I'm not looking at the word. Meaning I'm not looking at the vocabulary, what the word means. The first thing I'm looking at, the structure of the words. First thing I look at. If is it a singular? Is it a feminine? If it's marifa? Is it definite or indefinite? Those are the things I'm looking for. And the ending vowels. First thing I'm looking for. I understand now what the word means, the vocab. Now I'm looking at the structure related to grammar. So an example, for example, Aina al-binti jamilati, the difference between them, and Aina jamilatan is the difference. Aina is what? Muthanna. Muthanna. Dual. Muthanna. Dual. First sign. Rules for adjectives. Related to rules for the adjective. For nouns, the adjective must agree with the noun. So if the noun is dual, the adjective must be dual. If the noun is masculine, the adjective have to be masculine. If the adjective is feminine, if the noun is feminine, the adjective must be feminine. All right? So in this example, Aina binti jamilati. So the word jamila is singular feminine. So it's not, the adjective is not for the word ayn, because the word aina is two eyes. Ainani. And we understand when the word that is dual or the sound plural, when it's the first part of the mudafa, that the noon is deleted. When it's the possessor in this case, the noon is deleted. So aina means ainani, two eyes. Al-binti, of the beautiful girl. So aina al-binti jamilati, the two eyes of the beautiful girl. How I know this? Looking at the structure of the word, the mufrad, the jam'u, the mufrad, the dual. The word is feminine, it's a Taau Marbutah, it's singular form. So it cannot be the adjective for the word ayn. Aynan, because aynan is dual. The word bint is feminine because it's talking about a girl. So the adjective must be what? The adjective is what? It is singular, it is feminine, it is marifa, it is definite, so the adjective agrees with it. It's the adjective jamilatun is what? Female, feminine, singular, and it's marifa. So, the two eyes of the beautiful girl. The second example you wrote, Aina jamilatan. Easier. Right? The second one is now describing the eyes of the girl. How I know? Well, the word aina is what? Dual. Dual. So the dual, the adjective is dual. The word aina, when you deleted this thing, what happened? It disappeared. Aina. Let me go to the lesson for you, actually. Let me make it easy for you. Aina al-binti jamilatani. I got the example for you. Aina al-binti jamilatani. Or you write it so everyone else can see it. You write the example you're talking about so I can show you. Take your time in writing. I'm not in a rush. Aina al-binti jamilatani. Excellent. So, how I break this down? The vocabulary, you know. But now I gotta look at the structure of the words in the vocabulary. What is a noun? What is a ism? What is a alam? What is a noun? Right? Or jinsu alam. What is the common noun? What is the adjective I'm looking at? So let me just break some of this down. So this one, the mudaf is dual. The mudaf is dual, and it's feminine. The word bent is singular, and it's marifa, as the aynan is also marifa. Al-binti, ayna al-binti jamilatani. So the word bint is singular, feminine, and its marifa is definite. Now the adjective is what? Definite, and it's dual. And it's feminine dual. So the word bint is not dual. It's feminine, but it's not dual. So the adjective is dual, so that means the adjective is for the word. For what? Ayna, aynani. It's for the word eye, the two eyes. So this case, the two beautiful eyes of the girl, or the girl, two beautiful eyes. The two beautiful eyes of the girl. That's the best translation, because it has to be definite. Everything here is definite. The two beautiful eyes of the girl. The word jamilatani is for the word aynani. Is the adjective for the noun aynani. How you know? Because the adjective, it is feminine, it is dual. It is feminine and it's dual. The word bent is not dual. So the adjective is dual, for it's for the word two eyes. You understand, Sister Aliyah? This is very simple. Arabic make you think. Arabic language, it forces you to think. Any other examples, Sister Aliyah? نعم تفضل. تفضل. تفضلين. Okay. أين البنت جميلة? You told me that one. That's very easy. Do what I did. I look at the words. If it's singular, dual, marifa, masculine, feminine, now you do that. The adjective in this case is singular. So it can't be for what? You break it down. I'm going to go get some water. You break it down. All right, so Jamilatan is describing the eyes, describing the two eyes. Yes, but you did not write an example. Aynan al-binti jamilati. Break that one down. If someone wants you to break down. And Sister Aliyah, break that one down. Sister Lily, if you're still here, break that down. So Jamilatun is marfu'. Aynan binti Jamila is not marfu'. If you're trying to say marifa, you're trying to say marfu'. No, it's not marfu'. Jamila is not marfu'. An example: Aynan Jamilati. Ayna al binti al Jamilati. It is not it's not marfu'. It's majrur. It is majrur في حال jar. In the case of jar, it is majrur. It is not marfu'. Marfu' means ending in dhamma. It is majrur. And it's marifa. Because al-bint, the adjective is for the word bint. Because the adjective, jamila is what? Feminine adjective. It's feminine. And it's singular. It is singular. It's not dual. The other example you gave before was dual. Adjective was dual. It's talking about ayn. So in this case, Jamila is talking about a girl. The girl. Because the word girl is what? Singular, feminine. Aynan al-binti al-jamilati. هكذا. You understand, Aliyah? You need some homework? Yeah, you need some homework. You need some exercises. On page 25, lesson number 6, page 25, the tamreen. Tamreen means exercise. A tamreen, the exercise. It says translate into English. That's your homework. Kit'atani. I'm sorry. Kit'atan al-lahmin. Now, Jamila is, why is kasra? Why Jamila is kasra? Why is kasra? You forgot, sister. You forgot, Sister Aliyah. What is the thing about adjective? The adjective must agree with the noun in all cases. Aynan is mudaf ilayhi. Jamil is describing Aynan al-binti jamilati. I didn't say jamilatan. Even an example in the book. Are you looking at the book, sister? Page 24, you're looking. It's even written with kasra in the book. Honey, it's written with kasra in the book. This is why I'm telling you the rules. You must know the rules from every lesson. The rules for adjective. It must agree with the noun in all cases. So if the noun is kasra, then the adjective must be kasra. I mean, if the noun is majroor, is a better way to say it. If the noun is majroor, then the adjective must be majroor. Except for in cases when the word doesn't accept kasra or something like this. Because some words don't accept kasra, and I gave you that example. Some names don't accept kasra. Fatima to Khadija to doesn't accept tanween, don't accept kasra. Right? Remember that? But in general, the adjective must agree with the noun in all cases. So that's why it's ended in kasra. Don't forget the rules. The rules for every lesson is the most essential thing with us going over this book. I don't care too much about the vocabulary in this book, but it will help you is that you know each rule for what it explained or I explained to you from this book. You understand the rules very well, because when we go deeper into the lesson, move on to lesson 7, lesson 8, lesson 9, you're going to get new lessons, new rules, and using the old rules along with the new rules. So it's very important that you go over the rules. What you should be doing, Aliyah, you highlight from each chapter the rules in a simple form, highlight it in the book, and read it every day, or put it in an index card and read it every day like 2 times. If you go back to my video about the vocabulary and putting things on index cards, you use the same thing for the grammar terminology and the rules for the grammar. Any more questions? Sister Lily, any questions? Sister Lily, do you speak Urdu? Because I know even in Urdu, I have some grammar, I have some Arabic words. If you speak Urdu, I know I have some grammar words. The homework, Sister Aliyah, for you, page 25, that is lesson number 6, doing a tamreen. The exercise A. No Bengali. So Lily and Bengali, I'm trying to think of some, because I live in the big Bengali community. I'm trying to think of some Bengali words. I know in Urdu they have some of these rules, because in Urdu they take certain things from the Arabic language. Bengali is so different in structure, the script. Namaz. You know, they have some Arabic words, huh? Like namaz, qurbani, namaz. I'm so tired, I forgot what I was going to say, but the Urdu example, I forgot. I'm so tired. It's like 12:15. I even forgot the example of the Urdu I was going to give. You understand the terms? Excellent. I'll make sure you understand the terms. Because I know how some of these terms in Urdu might have some of these terms. Yes. Lesson 6, exercise A. A only. A and C. You got a whole week in front of you, right? Forget B. I don't care about translating. That's not important right now. Number B. A and C. Do exercise A and C is good examples, good exercise for you. Do A first. Go over the lesson. Review the lesson. Go over A. Review the video. Go over A. And then when you finish number A, later next day or so, do number C or that same day. Because number C wants you to correct the mistakes. And by you able to correct the mistakes, is then you know the lesson or not. Aynani Zaydin. Number C, for example, the first one. Aynani Zaydin. Right? Aliyah. Page 25. Example number C. The first one. Arabic, you got to remember, you read from right to left. Aynani Zaydin. Is that correct, Aliyah? Yeah, Aliyah. Is that correct? Aynani Zaydin. You already know the rule or explain. We went through the examples with Aynan, Ayna al-Binti, for example. Aliyah is Aynani Zaydin. Example number C. The first word. Arabic read from right to left. Not left to right. Right to left. Aynani Zaydin. Is that correct? Grammatically? Lily. Corrected. Is that correct? Aynani Zaydin. You're not sure? Oh, I'm not a good teacher. Or we don't pay attention. I'm not sure. In Arabic, in Islam, in fiqh, either أنت تعرف ولا تعرف. If you say I'm not for sure, لا بأس. But I want you to guess. Is it right? This one should be a clear one if it's right or wrong. The examples we went over just now, you typed out just now. To get the adjective part, you have a clear example of what we just went over. You can tell if the first part of it is written correctly. You say it's right. Lily, is it right? Sister Lily, she's right. She said yes. Aynani Zaydin. Lily said it's Lily. Is it right? Aliyah said it's right. Lily, you still with us? Is she correct? You agree with her it's correct? Aliyah said it's correct. I don't know. Why you don't know? vocabulary is easy. Aynani is what? 2 eyes. Zayd is the name of a person. Aynani Zaydin. Aliyah says it is correct. That means that no one in here is paying attention to the last lessons. The lesson of dual, wasn't paying attention. What happened to the noon? And the mudaf, in the case of mudaf, in the first part, if it has noon, or jamul salim, or the sound plural, it has noon in the case of mudaf, something becomes deleted. I think it's correct because it matches the name. No, it's not correct. It's wrong. Why? Aynani, Zaydin, when the mudaf is ending in noon from al-muthanna, dual, or jamul salim, or the sound plural, the noon is always deleted. That's why when you read the other examples, Ayna al-binti, the noon is deleted. It doesn't say Aynani. So this example, Aynani Zaydin, is incorrect. It's wrong. It is wrong. Gotta pay attention. Because in the case of mudaf, it is mudaf. So the noon is deleted. And same thing with jamul salim. In the case of mudaf, the noon is deleted. Ayna Zaydin. Look at the third example. The third example, we end with that. It says, Yadda Zaydin wasikhun. Is that correct? Yes or no? Yadda Zaydin wasikhun. The key here to know if it's right or wrong, I'm giving it easy to you. The key here is wasikh, the word wasikh, and its vowel, and what's there and is not, what is not written on the word, or what is written on the word, or what vowels is ending with, is the key in letting you know if this is correct or incorrect. Yad, what is yad? It is hand. Yad, yadda, yadda meaning yadani, yadda Zaydin wasikhun. Easy. Same page, same line, but I skipped to the third example. Number C, the third example. Aynani Zaydin, and it says Kit'atani Lahmin. I skipped that one. Now we read it. Yadda Zaydin wasikhun. Is that Sahih or Qata? Ali said, I think it's right. Okay. What about you, Lily. So Ali say it's right. What about you, Lily? Is it right or wrong? Do you agree it's correct? Lily. Trying to put the thinking cap. She said, I don't think it's right. Why, Lily, you don't think it's right? If you're going to say why it's not right. It's very important. Because your answer can help the person who said something different from you or gave a different answer to you. Can help. Why you think it's not right? Critical thinking. Arabic helps you think. Arabic language helps you think because you got to look at the structure of words and things to comprehend it. You got to think before you say things in Arabic. So grammatically you're saying what is correct. It forces you to think. Arabic language forces you to think. Why do you think it's right, Lily? You don't think it's right. So why you think it's not right? Because it said an ending waw noon is supposed to be alif and noon. What ending? What supposed to end with waw and noon? Which word? Yad, Yadani. Or the word wasikh? The last word. The last word is a reason why it's wrong, but your answer for it is also incorrect. The word wasikh, Yadda Zaydin wasikh. It's wrong. Because if I read this, Yadda is dual for Yadani. And we know that the word for body parts that are in pair is feminine. The words for body parts that are in pair are feminine. So the word wasikh, which means dirty, it is an adjective. It must agree with the noun. So if I say wasikh, either I can mean the hand of dirty Zayd, but it still be wrong because the word Zayd is ending in kasra and wasikh is ending in marfu', so it still will be wrong. So the word here wasikh should be talking about the hand is dirty. So yadda, it is dual. So the adjective must be dual and it must be feminine. So yadda Zaydan wasikain. In and in, yeah, and noon. I'm sorry. Yadani Zaydan wasikhataini. I'm sorry. Wasikataini. That should be the correct answer. Yadda, the two hands, which the word is going to be feminine. Yadda Zaydin. I'm sorry. Wasikhani. I'm sorry. Yadda Zaydin wasikhatani. That's the correct word. Yadda, meaning yadani. Yadda Zaydin wasikhatani. Why? Because the word yad, it is feminine. And we know, talk about something being wasikh, that the hand of the dirty Zayd, that don't make sense. It's talking about the hand of Zayd is dirty. Matter of fact, it should be Yadda Zaydin al wasikhatani. It should be marifa. So let me write it down. It should be marifa. Because the word yad is what? If the noon is deleted from yad, yadan, we know the first part of the mudaf is what? It's marifa. So let me write it down. That is the correct answer. Yadda Zaydin wasiqatani. Because the word yad, it is feminine. And it's dual. So the adjective must agree with the noun. So it's the adjective is dual. The noun is dual. The noun is dual. So the adjective must be dual. Number one, the noun, it is marifa, definiteness, because we know the first part of the mudafa, the possessive case, is always what? Marifa. So now the adjective, it's feminine, it's dual, and it's marifa, because the word yad in this case is marifa. It is definite, and it's dual, and it's feminine, because the first part of the mudafa, it is feminine, and it's dual, and it's in the case of marifa, definite case. So the adjective agrees with the noun. Yadda Zaydin al-wasiqatani. Is that understood, Lily? And Aliyah, and that'd be the last example. This is going to be your homework. A and C. All right, any more questions? Everything about Arabic language is critical thinking. Arabic makes you think. Speaking in Arabic makes you think. Arabic language, speaking proper Arabic Fusha, makes you think. Must have vocab, must have grammar structure. You can't find lesson number 6? Lesson number 6, page 23. The examples are on number 25, page 25. It says in Arabic, and tamreen, it means exercise. It says A, translate into English, and it has some words in Arabic. And it has B, translate into English, some English, translate into English. That's a mistake. How you translate into English is already in English. It means translate into Arabic. It's a typo. And number C, it says correct the following sentences. A and C, forget B, because B, man, forget B. A and C. Do A and C, that's the homework. Alright, so we're going to end now. Inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik wa shalala wa ant wa astaghfirullah wa tubu ilayk. And any questions, you can always comment here or send me an inbox or email me. Inbox and email, I get the messages. Even though I don't reply right away, I get the message. The inbox or emails, I get it. I get in the email for sure. I get it. All my emails, I always read all my emails. If you inbox me, eventually sometime of the week, I'm gonna go. Any questions you have, just inbox or email me or comment here. But sometimes you comment here because during the day when I load the videos or when the videos are posted, you get notifications on them. Some notifications like this, like, share. Sometimes they're not comments, so I'm going to look at everything or notifications for the video. But if you inbox me or email a question, I always go look at that. I don't look at all the notifications for the videos because I get a lot of notifications. Somebody's liking the page. So if you leave a comment on there, I might not be able to see it, the comment, because I get notification on the video all day and I'm not going back. I say, oh, it's notification, and I might forget that you commented because there's a whole bunch of comments in the section. And the dates sometimes are there when it was asked. Sometimes it's too writing the numbers and the letters. It's too small on my eyes. So and everything's jumbled up in the comment area. It's hard to see who's asking what questions. It's hard on my eyes. Like, my eyes are killing me right now just trying to read the script on my notebook. But if you inbox me, I get it. If you email me, I get it. Because usually I check my emails on my iPad or on my computer, my desktop in my house, and I can see everything well. But on my notebook right here, it's just too small. And sometimes even on my computer, on my iPad, when I read the comments and stuff, sometimes it's just everything is, all the comments are jumbled in one section, and it's hard to tell who asked what question. What is the question that was asked during class, or what question that was asked after class, and they get confused because how they have the comment sections for the live videos feed. Sometimes the videos the comments come in the way of priority, it's complicated sometimes. So that's too much on my eyes and my time. So just inbox me any questions or just email me, inshallah. Like the sister Aliyah, she does email, ask me questions about certain things about Arabic or Arabic schools, learning Arabic, and I either give her a direct answer or I make a video on the question. The question is general, and it's a good question that a lot of people ask. I try to make some videos to answer those questions so everybody can reap the benefit for them, inshallah. So just inbox me or email me, inshallah, and we will end with that. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik wa shallallahu wa ant wa astaghfirullah wa tubu ilayk.